In the verdant kingdom of Aethelgard, nestled between whispering mountains and a singing sea, there was no curse spun at a cradle, but a choice made in a moment of profound courage. The kingdom was guarded not by armies, but by the weeping willow of worlds, an ancient tree whose roots were said to tap into the dreamscape itself. Its most precious sap, known as starlight dew, was collected by the royal family to weave gentle dreams for the people, ensuring restful nights and fertile days. The kingdom's heart was the princess, a young woman named Seren, whose own dreams were so vibrant and powerful they could subtly tint the waking world, making flowers bloom out of season or painting the sunset with unusual colors. This harmony was shattered by a different kind of magic. A being of pure, insatiable ennui, known only as the Grey, crept into the land. It was not a monster of tooth and claw, but a creeping malaise, a cosmic fatigue that drained color, sound, and emotion. Where the Grey touched, flowers did not die. They simply forgot their color. Birds did not fall silent. They forgot their songs. The people did not suffer, but they ceased to feel joy or sorrow, moving through their days as listless shadows. The starlight dew lost its power, for the Grey made dreaming and feeling impossible. The royal sorcerers fought with spells of light and sound, but the Grey absorbed them without reaction. It was a void, and it could not be fought, only endured. Princess Seren, watching her people become husks and her world fade to monochrome, understood the terrible truth. The Grey was not an attack on the body, but on the soul. It could not be defeated from the outside. In a final, desperate act of empathy, she did not flee to the weeping willow for protection. Instead, she went to the heart of the Grey's advance, the castle's highest tower, and she did not cast a spell. She cast her consciousness. Using the last vestiges of the kingdom's collective fading dreams, she anchored her own vibrant spirit into the dreamscape, making herself a beacon. But the cost was her waking self. Her body fell into a profound slumber, a stasis that the Grey could not touch because it held nothing it could consume. She was not asleep. She was dreaming, eternally and lucidly, holding a perfect, vivid memory of Aethelgard in all its color and song within her mind. A field of protective energy, woven from these dreams, pulsed from her sleeping form, creating a single shimmering sanctuary around the castle that the Grey could not penetrate. The kingdom was not saved, but it was not lost. It was waiting, caught between the Grey's apathy and Seren's tenacious memory of joy. Generations passed. The legend of the sleeping princess became a myth, a story told by the few who remembered feeling. The sanctuary shrank year by year, Seren's dream a lone star in an endless gray sky. The hope of the kingdom rested not on a prince, but on a young dream weaver's apprentice named Kael, a boy who had never known a world with color, but who felt a strange, persistent hum of melody in his heart that the Grey had not been able to erase. He was a descendant of the castle gardeners, and his only inheritance was a single pressed flower that still held a faint, ghostly hue of blue. Driven by this faint echo of feeling, Kael braved the desolate lands and found the shimmering dome. He did not carry a sword, but the pressed flower and the humming tune in his head. A lullaby his grandmother had whispered, a fragment of the world that was. He passed through the barrier and found the tower, not with brambles, but with a palpable, thick silence. There, he found Seren, not as a legend, but as a real girl, asleep in a bed of woven light. He knew the old tales said a true love's kiss would break the spell. But Kael understood this was not a spell of malice, but one of profound sacrifice. Love was not the key. Connection was. He did not kiss her. Instead, he sat beside her and began to hum his grandmother's lullaby, the last unextinguished song of old Aethelgard. He placed the pressed blue flower on her chest, a tangible piece of the world she was guarding in her mind. In her dream, Seren, who had been holding the memory of her world against an endless gray tide, heard a new sound, a real sound, not a memory. She saw a new color, a blue that was not her own creation, but one brought from the outside. It was a signal. It was an answer. The guardian did not need to be rescued. She needed to be reminded that the world was still worth waking up to. Kael's humble, real offerings provided the bridge between her dreaming soul and the waiting world. Seren's eyes opened, and as they did, the dream she had held for so long did not vanish. It poured out of her. A wave of restorative energy, fueled by her long vigil and ignited by Kael's connection, exploded from the castle. It was not an explosion of force, but of feeling. Color rushed back into the fields, sound into the air, and emotion into the hearts of the people. The Grey, faced with this undeniable, passionate affirmation of existence, recoiled and dissolved, unable to exist in a world that had chosen so fiercely to feel. Seren and Kael did not rule as monarchs, but as guides. They taught the people how to remember, how to feel deeply, and how to dream again. The kingdom learned that the most powerful magic was not in avoiding darkness, but in choosing to light a candle against it. And that sometimes the most beautiful awakening requires a truly selfless sleep.